Welcome to the block party. My name is Seth Kushner, and I am joined by a man who never skips leg day, Matthew Joseph. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Listen, dude, I want to know first, just coming right out of the gate, who was most sad on your team when you cut your hair in the off season?
Honestly, I don't know. I just did it like 2 or 3 weeks before camp. I felt like it was a lot it was a lot. And I remember Johnny posting a picture on his story on Instagram, and I remember I picked my hair. When I picked my hair, it gets like way bigger, and I look at that picture and I was like, oh my god, my hair is like out of control here, and it was a lot of maintenance. So you know what? I think is I was probably the happiest guy for this to happen, even though I like my big hair. But no, it's been a while, but it was good. It was good.
Who loved it the most on the team? I mean, were people touching it? Were they rubbing it for good luck?
You know what? I think Pally was a big fan of big hair. He's like, you should do that, Joe. You should do that. And when I started having longer hair and stuff, he was talking. He's like, oh, I love your hair, Joe. I love your hair. So I think Pally was definitely a fan.
Listen, you rocked the Kobe Bryant jersey during the boat parade, for the in the off season. Tell me, what did Kobe Bryant mean to you?
You know what? Growing up, for my dad, I know my dad was a huge Kobe Bryant fan. We weren't a huge basketball family. We were a sport family though, so trying to touch with pretty much every sport. But you know what? I think it's not just representing him in particular. It's more of his legacy. I think what he left behind him. I mean, the amount of people he's helped after his career, during his career, and before his career even. And I think I didn't really have a tribune or said anything about his death yet, or barely. And you know what? I thought that was a great way to represent him, and especially the year he died like that. For me, it was kind of a way to showing my respect, definitely.
Now, you were in the mix of the boat parade. It felt like you were on the cool boat with everybody. You were right there. Are there any stories, anything that happened that day, anything you can
Oh my
remember?
god, that was such a fun day. That was
Who's
actually
like
awesome.
whose face do you think of immediately when you think of the boat parade? What teammate comes into mind?
Well, I was with Sorelli, Killer, and Johnny on that boat, which was great. I mean, there's definitely guys that I've been tight with since I've been in it with Tampa, and you know what? We had such a good time. I felt like there was no rules out there. You know what? People were throwing beers and white claws, and we're taking shots with people like from our boat with other fans, yelling at us, and it was awesome. It was a beautiful out as well, and it was such a nice day, and it was probably one of the best day I've ever, honestly.
Did you have any idea what it was going to be like when you stepped on the boat that day?
None. I felt like no one really did. We knew we were gonna go on a boat. We didn't really know how many people were gonna be there, how long we were gonna be on the boat, if we had enough alcohol, and it, it was more that was the most important part during that day, that's for sure. But no, honestly, we were kind of out of the loop. We just knew we had kind of a boat parade. We're going to Raymond James. I don't like when we got to Raymond James, guys didn't know that they could talk too, I think. And it was a big improv day kind of, but it was great, honestly. I think we did the best out of it, and it's definitely a day that everyone remembers really well.
Did you know Kucherov had that in him?
Yeah, I kind of did, honestly. He's so funny. I mean, he's been a great player, but he's awesome off the ice too. And it was great. It was great for all the hard work that these guys and the team did for away from the family for so long. And you know it's a lot of hard work. People don't realize how much these guys were suffering at some point. Almost, you can say that, in playoffs, and gave it all. And for a trophy like that we've all dreamed of. And it was great to see Cooch, kind of not, I wouldn't say out of his element, because he was great at doing it, but let loose a little bit.
Now, Joe, I got to tell you, man, I was at Raymond James that night, and I'm glad you mentioned that Sorelli was on the boat with you, because I saw him while all you guys were kind of going up on stage. I saw him leaning up against like the bathrooms at Raymond James. Like he didn't look like he was doing well. Was that a lot for him?
I mean, you know what? I told you that we wanted booze on our on our boat, and we definitely had enough. That's for sure. So I think we were. I mean, we were all kind of in the rubble here, like here and there. We were kind of buzzing, but you know what? I sometimes you just got to do it, and after that, it's you're feeling great. And Sorelli finished the night really well, and it's all that matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Now, talk to me about Game 6. I mean, you're in the locker room, right? What's the situation? You're with Stamkos, and you guys are watching the game. And when do you decide, like, okay, are you dressed? Like, walk me through it.
You know what? You know the game 5. We were in the locker room actually, and we were up with like 6 minutes left, I think, and we're just like, okay, are we gonna dress up right now? Like we're up with by one, and then they end up tying the game around that 3 minutes or 4 minutes left, and so the next day, and we lost the game in overtime, and then the next day, we were kind of superstitious about it because we just did that the day before, but we had 2 goals lead, which was a little better. But we were all watching the game, and honestly, we didn't go into the tunnel to. We were all dressed up, but we didn't go to the tunnel until there was 15 seconds left. Like we didn't want to jinx anything, and but as soon as we saw that we weren't going to win, it was great. I mean, we just everyone hugged each other in the room, and then we jumped on the ice with the guys, and it was awesome.
What was it like? I mean, what was it like to be back there with Stammer, knowing obviously how hard he worked to, get back and to play that game and to score that goal and to be back there with him right before he hit the ice? What was that like for you?
It was awesome. I mean, Stammer's a hard worker. Especially when you had that injury, it's tough to see your team going through playoffs without their captain. And when he scored there, I mean, you saw the reaction of our bench. It was the same thing in the stands. I mean, he was everyone was so happy for him, and definitely deserved that goal. He's worked so hard to at least try to be in the game, and that was a huge goal for us too. And um, you know, coming in and haven't played that long, and just coming in and doing that is very impressive. And there's a reason why he's been one of the best goal scorer of all time, and at least for this franchise. And he definitely proved it.
Mathieu, now you tweeted the other night that you were jealous of the game that was happening in Tahoe. I
So
don't know
jealous.
if you're still jealous now. Okay, make your plea. Let's say that Gary Bettman's watching this right now and he goes, Mathieu, come into my office and tell me why the Lightning should get an outdoor game. How are you making your pitch? Because I can't believe it hasn't happened yet.
Honestly, I think they've been trying to work on something. You know what? I actually have no idea, but I'm, I'm just speculating here. But
They
um,
should be working on it.
that would be so awesome. I mean, I'm a huge fan of nice views, and seeing that views of Lake Tahoe. And I've seen a lot on Twitter too about people were talking about they were talking about Lake Louise too for Canadian teams. That would be awesome in Banff, and but that's definitely a dream of mine, to be honest with you, to just have a have to play an outside game, even if there's no fan at this point. It's because of COVID, but playing in front of a crowd like that, I mean, it's so awesome. And haven't played outside in a while since we're in Tampa Bay, so it's also that'd be really really cool to do too.
Is that something that you guys talk about at all on the team, that you would love to have an outdoor game and you're jealous of the teams that get it, or that's just more of a kind of a personal goal of yours?
No, I think sometimes the guys talk about it and be like, "Oh my God, look at this game outside. That'd be awesome." Blah blah. I mean, Lake Tahoe is very special, to be honest. Like, you don't see views like that anywhere, and the background was unbelievable, and that setup was great, to be honest. And it's definitely something that the guys would love to do, and hopefully it happens in the future.
Now, Mathieu, tell me, as a fourth round pick, getting drafted, it's a big deal, but, do you still feel like when you get drafted in the fourth round that you still have a ton to prove?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of kids or young players or think that when you get drafted, it's kind of the end, or it's like even when you make the NHL in the first year, it's the end, and you're good and but it's not like that. I mean, there's good players coming in every year. There's trades happening everywhere. There's cap space that have to be filled everywhere. So as a fourth round pick, I just came to camp with no expectation, just trying to play hard and practice hard and improve every year I was able to in junior. And how we had a good team in junior, got confidence there, and same thing when I went to Syracuse. So I think it's a process no matter where you are. Sometimes you have a little bit more visibility, being drafted in the first 2 rounds. But, at the end of the day, the guys that are going to make it at the end of the day are going to be guys that want to make it and that have worked for it. So it's definitely a hard league to make. And being drafted is just the beginning, really.
A couple of years ago, when you made the team, how did you find out? How did that news get delivered? Is it kind of casual, or was it a big deal?
It was actually kind of casual, to be honest with you. It was after the last exhibition game in Florida. You know what? I think it's probably one of my best camp ever, probably. And I really didn't want to go to Syracuse, and I was kind of nervous about it. I knew it was probably going to be the next day or the day after that we were going to know the roster to start the season. And Julian said, you're going to start with us, and we'll see from there. But it was I was couldn't stop smiling. That's for sure. That ride and that flight from Florida, from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa was only 30 minutes, but it felt so long before I called my parents, and everyone was very excited. And then 13 or 14 games in, it told me that I could get my letters and could find an apartment with the team. So that was also really nice to have. But definitely knowing that you have a chance to stay for the whole year like that is definitely a mark of confidence and makes you more comfortable.
Now, how excited were you when you saw your brother have his debut the other night?
Unbelievable. I mean, he's worked so hard in the last couple of years, but in his whole life. And I was there as his draft. I was probably more happy that he was drafted than I was, and when I was drafted, and it was good because it was tough for him. He's worked hard. People don't realize that when he was in Arizona, he had to go back during the summer. He was doing 3 weeks in Arizona, 1 week at home, trying to work and get bigger, get stronger, gets his game better. And as an 18 years old, that probably isn't gonna make the team the next year. Leaving your family or your friends for almost the whole summer and working out with a team like that is a lot. It takes a lot of discipline, and he's done that. He's done the sacrifices to be there, and to see him perform at the NHL level is it's not a surprise for me. I know what kind of player he is, but it's definitely makes me proud as a big brother.
Now, how often is he giving you advice? How often are you giving him advice? You guys critiquing each other's games?
Absolutely. When he has a bad game or a bad play, I'm usually telling, and I'm watching the game. Usually, we tell each other if we watch the game or not after, and sometimes we play at the same time, so it's not possible. But you know what? He watches my game. I'm watching his game, and sometimes I have a little advice here and there, where to position yourself, how'd you play, what do you think of your game. It's we have a best friend relationship. It's really what it is. Sometimes say, oh, my brother's my best friend, but no, we are really best friends, and it's been easy for us to just talk about our games and stuff without taking anything personal, and we're just trying to help each other.
Now, you spoke out, I think, in May about what happened with George Floyd. How important is it to you to kind of use your platform to speak out on social issues?
Absolutely, and you know what? It's kind of slowed down a little bit in the last couple months, and I'm still and obviously being this month in February, people have been talking a little bit more about it, but it's I've been trying to keep up and just keep educating the people who follow me, or using my platform for good use, and even talking about it in interviews. And I don't know how many people I can impact, or how many lives I can have an influence on, but if I can reach the most people possible about this obvious issue that we have, not just in the United States, but a little bit everywhere. And I mean, it's definitely something that I'm trying to do.
Mathieu, listen, talk to me about Jamel Smith. I mean, this guy looks like an absolute beast. I would be terrified if I saw him coming my way on the ice. I mean, we were kind of learning about a story. He hadn't played in over a year. I mean, what's it like to see him out there now and thriving, knowing his story and how hard he's worked to get out there?
Yeah, he's been great. Honestly, he just jumped in like that. I haven't played in like almost a year, and I mean, I feel like he doesn't miss a beat. You can see in practice he was always he was ready to go, and he's a good player. I mean, he's like, I played with him last year in Syracuse in the same team, and you could tell he's a good passer. He's strong on pucks, and it's awesome to see him succeed at this level too, because I feel like he's probably even better at the NHL level that he was in the AHL, and playing with playing with good players here and elite players is good for him, and he's been having definitely an impact on our team.
Now, obviously, because of injuries, things have been shifted around this year, and you're playing with Johnny and Killer right now. Has Killer given you kind of any influence or tips, being on the line with him, being in the offseason? How important is it to be an influencer when you're playing on the same line as Killer?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Killer's great. Johnny and Killer are awesome for communication. They're the guys that well, first of all, I had that parade with, but not just that. It's they're great at listening to advices and also giving them, and that's what makes a good good combination, I think. And you know what? I think we've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple of games about or scoring touch. I think we could have a couple more, but I think, like I said, the communication is great with these guys, and they're easy to talk to, and that that definitely takes off some pressure. And sometimes you don't realize, but being able to talk to your liney as well, and having their advice or what they think about the certain plays definitely helps for the next time. And because I'm close to these guys, it's definitely been easy.
Do you feel like that you could play on any line right now? I mean, you've been around the team long enough where you kind of have chemistry with everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can go up and down the lineup. I mean, I don't mind being with Killer and Johnny right now, or going on the fourth line sometimes and play a little bit more of a chicken role, and playing with Gordo too sometimes. I think wherever the coach is putting me out there, I'm just gonna try to play my game, play hard, and bring pucks to the net, and try not to get scored on. So I think that's what it is, and the guys know that I'm very talkative and very like to communicate and know what everyone's thinking, or where can I help. And I think that's important for me to be like that if if I'm going a little bit up and down the lineup.
Now, did you feel, weird at all when you would have to call the Lightning, in the offseason, where you'd like, hey, I want to take the Stanley Cup out tonight? Because when I was interviewing Stammer on the block party, he said that Killer used up all of his cup coupons. He said whenever he opened up Instagram, Killer was always with the cup. Did you get a couple of cup moments?
You know what, I was just with Killer, so I had a couple for real. No, it was great. I mean, I remember we went on the boat to once with a couple of us. It was a great time. We went to Ava once to Meat Market a couple of times. So yeah, a little bit everywhere, and definitely saw the cup much more than I would have if it wasn't COVID. So no, we had a great time, and definitely Kerry definitely used a lot of it. But I mean, not everyone was in town, so that was that was just a good time, really.
Listen, man, tell me about your fashion this year. It seems to be a big deal. The Lightning are taking pictures every time you guys go in the arena. I think you were rocking the Brady jersey. You had an incredible suit on when you were, boarding to Raleigh. I mean, do you feel like you're one of the best dressed guys on the team? And is that something where you guys are kind of competing with each other?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, definitely not. Definitely wouldn't call myself the best dressed guy in the team, but I definitely like to dress well. I think it's I wouldn't say it's important for me, but it's something I'm taking a little bit of pride on. I mean, I've always liked fashion a little bit, and I feel like if you feel good in what you're wearing, you're going up and showing good confidence, and also feeling good inside. And I'm not necessarily a big fashion guy clothes wise, but I definitely am a big shoes guy. Love shoes, and that's definitely something that I don't think it's going to change this soon. But I wouldn't say it's a competition at all. I think everyone wants to dress as just represent their personalities, represent who they are, and it's some guys like it more than others, and it's been great, honestly.
Is there anybody that's asked you to take them shopping because they really like your wardrobe, or we're not quite there yet?
No, not quite there yet. Not at all.
Listen, man, there was one more question I had for you. Oh, yeah. I want to know, who is the most underrated guy to you on the Lightning? Who do you feel just doesn't get enough respect locally or nationally, or somebody?
You know what? I think I can answer. It's a hard question. I think there's a lot of guys that could be talked more on our team that aren't necessarily. I mean, we do have a really good team. Don't get me wrong, but I think definitely McDonough. I think we talked about him a little bit, but he's doing so many good things on the ice that people don't realize. And you know what? He's one of the elite shot blocking guy in the league, but also he's got amazing stick, amazing skating ability, doesn't get beat, and rarely in bad position. And a warrior like that is you want that in your team, definitely. And I could say the same probably about Pally too. I think Pally's you know, he maybe doesn't get the recognition that he has sometimes because he's a hard worker. He plays on the top line, top units on the power play, and he's doing a lot of dirty work that we don't really realize. But he's been an amazing player for a lot of years now. But I think he could definitely get more recognition. These two for sure.
I agree. Mathieu, listen, man, great interview. You were amazing. Thank you so much. Good luck the rest of the season, man. We'll be looking to see, how you're dressing on all the next road trips, man, and good luck the rest of the way, dude. Thanks for taking some time.
Thanks. I appreciate it. That was fun.